Carmela, one of the questions we often get is just how good are the in-house branded wines at places like Costco and Trader Joe's?
We do.
And Trader Joe's is a bit unique in that not only do they have in-house brands, but they have several different brands and tiers of those brands, like $2 Chuck and their own wines, etc. So today, we're going to see just how good Trader Joe's Grand Reserve tier of wines are.
Watch out.
Hello, and welcome to the Wine Pair Podcast. I'm Joe, your sommelier of reasonably priced wine, and this is my wife and my wine pairing partner in crime, Carmelita.
Hi there.
And we are the Wine Pair.
Dun, da, da, da.
If you're new to our podcast, her name is actually Carmela, and here's a quick orientation.
Wow.
Each week we explore a different wine varietal or blend or brand, like Pinot Noir or Bordeaux or Trader Joe's, and dive into what makes it unique, special, and worth learning about. Maybe fine. Our goal is to help you expand your wine knowledge in a fun way that normal people can understand, and we also taste and review 2 to 3 wines under $20 each and share our scores and recommendations to help you find great wines without breaking the bank.
You're like amped tonight.
I know I am.
Just tell
you know why? It's
like...
because my pupils are dilated.
Wait,
so thank you
what?
very much. That in a second. So thank you so much for joining us. And we're proud to say that Decanter Magazine calls us fun, irreverent,
chatty,
highly dilated, and entertaining.
Wow.
Okay, I did.
This
I got
is
my
a lot
eyes.
of information.
I got my eyes checked, and they're all fakakta.
Maybe
anyway,
that's why you're just your eyes wide open now, so you're like just
woo,
wow.
It hurts. Okay, well, Carmela, it's been a bit, so it's time to do another review of Trader Joe's wines to see if we think they are any good and if they are worth buying. And the last time we did this, we tasted and reviewed 3 of their Platinum Reserve wines.
Oh, Platinum,
which is their second highest tier. And for that tasting and review, we chose the Saint-Emilion, the Carneros Pinot Noir, and the Sonoma County Sparkling Brut. And we liked 2 of them a lot. And one of them we were kind of meh on.
Okay.
And believe it or not, the one we were kind of meh on was the Pinot Noir.
Oh, wow. Our fave.
Yeah, it's usually our favorite. So, and I think part of that's just because we are kind of harsh critics on Pinot Noirs.
We kind of are. And, let's just stop for a moment and talk about your Trader Joe's conversion, like how you
it's not a full conversion.
I don't know.
No, it's not a full conversion. It is I have come to terms with it. Let's just put that.
I feel like you're a little bit of a believer, though.
I'm a sort of believer.
Yeah,
but we talked about that in previous episodes. We don't have to go into that.
You could hardly even spit the name out at one point.
Now I just like I mumble it. Okay, but this time around, can we get back to the wine?
Oh, okay.
Okay, this time around, we're going to taste the next tier down from Platinum, and that's the Grand Reserve. Grand, I call it Grand.
Wow.
They're generally...
what does other people call it?
They call it Grand.
Oh, true.
And they're generally in the $12.99 range.
Okay.
And we're really going out on a limb because I went out of my way to choose wines that we don't necessarily like, but I think that the average wine drinker would choose. So I picked out the Meritage, I can't say it right. It's a fancy term for a Bordeaux-style blend, a GSM, which stands for Grenache Syrah Mourvedre, and a Chardonnay.
Wow.
I know.
You're really pushing us tonight.
I know, a Chardonnay. So it turns out, Carmela, that we have a listener who wants us to do some reviews of Oaky Chardonnay. Even though it may be my least favorite.
Do they know?
What I said, I think you're messing with me.
Okay.
But we're going to review the Trader Joe's 2022 Grand Reserve Chardonnay. And then next week, just as a little precursor, people, we are going to do a whole episode on Oaky Chardonnay to see if we have been too judgy about them.
Okay. I mean, maybe it's a test on us.
It's a test on us. So shout out to Dean, who wrote to us and said he wanted to find Oaky Chardonnays for his wife.
Oh.
So
why does it have to be for his wife? I think it's a cover.
It might be a cover. What are you trying to hide, Dean?
Yeah, you can say it. If you like an Oaky Chardonnay.
Just admit it.
Yeah, nobody's judging. I mean, we judge, kind of. We do. But
We're
I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Just, come forward.
But all I'm going to say, we want to thank you, Dean, for the suggestion. And next week, hold on to your butts because it could be a disaster.
Well, or it might be a good opportunity for you guys to go, oh, they don't like it.
Maybe I will. Exactly. But back to the topic of the day, Carmela, because I know a lot of people love to shop at Trader Joe's, and I see a lot of people hanging out in the wine section. And it's not a huge wine section, but it is full of well-priced wines that I know a lot of people like to buy. And Trader Joe's also has a pretty good mix of their own wines and wines that are available in other places. And I'll also say again something that I've said in the past about their wines, which is what's kind of cool about their wine section is that they offer a lot of different wine types and styles from a lot of different regions around the world. So I appreciate that, and it can be kind of a inexpensive way to maybe try some different wines from different parts of the world that you might not have.
Right. And become a little culture just walking through your Trader Joe's.
That's right. Who knew Trader Joe's could enculturate you? And for people like us, Carmela, who really want to find good wines in that $20 or under range, the house brand wines at Costco and Trader Joe's are really intriguing because the expectation is that they are about a half to a third of the price of wines of similar quality, what we would call high QPR wines or quality to price ratio wines. That's kind of our holy grail. And again, at $12.99, Carmela, the Trader Joe's Grand Reserve wines are kind of perfectly priced.
For sure.
Right? Right?
Right. I know, right?
Okay.
IKR.
So today we're focusing again on the Grand or Grand. If you want to be really fancy, you can call them Grand.
Or do you feel just like snobby?
Yeah, we're going to try the Grand Reserve wines. And we have, again, 3 Grand Reserve wines. And then at the end of the episode, we'll give a quick overview of our trip to Spain, which listeners Christine and Jennifer reached out to us about. And we have a great review of a tour of a cava house that we took.
It was amazing.
It was. But first,
you got to do our shameless plug.
That's right. So thank you for listening to us and supporting our show. I think I've lost my mind.
I never know if I say you, we.
I don't know. It's ours. It's ours.
I mean,
it's ours.
Okay.
It's yours and mine.
I change it
we
up
are the
every
wine
time.
pair. But if you haven't had a chance to do so yet, Carmela, or those of you out there in listening land, now would be an awesome time to subscribe or follow our podcast as a free way to support us. And thank you to all of you who have done so. And another great way to support us is to leave a nice rating and review on our website or Apple Podcasts or Spotify or other podcast service. That would be really awesome. And you can also follow us and see pictures of the wines we're tasting and trying today and weird AI pictures I like to make on Instagram at The Wine Pair Podcast. And you can contact us on our website, thewinepairpodcast.com. And you can sign up for our email newsletter there and get news and food and recipes and wine pairing ideas and all sorts of stuff. And you just missed our August send. So like listener Dean, again, you can just email me. I will at joe@thewinepairpodcast.com. Ask Dean. Just
He's
ask
waiting
Dean.
for you.
No, I sent it to, I forwarded it to him.
because he asked for
just ask
it.
Dean. I'm real on that. I will actually do it. So just, I'm an easygoing guy. joe@thewinepairpodcast.com.
It's okay. We're a couple days late. It's
That's right.
okay. It still means the same.
Exactly. And we sent it out the first of the month, so you just missed it. So email me.
I mean, people.
And again,
can't miss that.
I know. It's like, come on, it's basic, people. It's like doing your homework.
Some really good reading.
It is. It's exciting. We even had a poll this week.
Oh my.
Take the poll. Okay. And we want you to make and we want to make content that you care about. And so send us a note and tell us what you like and what you don't like, and if there are wines you want us to try or areas of the world that you're curious about. And a shout out to Adrian. We got a lot of contact this week. I love it.
Wow.
Adrian was like, "Hey, maybe you guys should do some Portuguese wines."
Okay.
And she was also talking to us about rosé and Pinot Noir rosé. It was really fun. But she said maybe you guys should do some episodes on Portuguese wines.
Oh my God.
So you know what, Adrian, we're gonna do it.
My goodness.
So we'll keep those thoughts coming. I'm so excited.
Oh my God. You don't even know what this does to him, you guys.
My head is like shaking.
And his eyes are so big.
That's just because they're dilated. And as we do every week, we'll tell you someone we think you should recommend the Wine Pair podcast to so we can keep growing our listeners. And this week, we want you to recommend us to anyone you see carrying around a Trader Joe's shopping bag, because they'll probably want to learn the knowledge
Is that something
we
you
are
see
dropping today.
Often? Have you,
Yeah.
Seriously? I know it's
Yeah.
a big deal. I know they were like viral. Is that a thing?
Viral is a thing.
No,
Viral is a
like,
thing.
But is that a way of like
You
saying,
can get a sickness virally.
True,
You can
true.
get.
But it was like you couldn't get them anymore. Everybody was like, "Oh, you need a Trader Joe's shopping bag," and then they were like sold out.
So you're answering your own question.
Okay.
All right. See, it's a big deal. But if you see somebody, you say,
See
"Hey,
something, say something."
Hey, you! Listen to the Wine Pair podcast.
Oh my, they'll be like, Help! This guy's harassing me.
Get away. Okay, Carmela, back to the topic at hand. But before we talk about the specific wines we selected today, I did want to spend a little bit of time focusing on the names of a couple of the wines that we chose, because they may not be totally familiar to everyone. So we're going to talk about what the is Meritage and what the is GSM.
I think you just
that will be bleeped out as it gets bleeped out.
Okay.
And I'll note that a vast majority of the red wine blends that you see on store shelves are based on one of these two blends. We covered it in mini-sode number 7, which is called a quick primer. It's primer, not primer, a quick primer on red blends. So check it out, and there's more there. But let's talk about Meritage. I think I just called it Meritage again. I've always called it Meritage, and I'm saying it wrong. Another word that I'm saying.
Who brought it to your attention?
I looked it up, Carmela.
Oh.
It's a portmanteau word. That's a big name. A portmanteau word, which is a combination of two or more words like spork or brunch or podcast. Those are portmanteau words.
Meritage?
Yeah, and it's made up of merit and heritage.
Oh, but that's a little different.
Okay. No, it's Meritage. So it's called Meritage. Now, Meritage wines are wines that are made from Bordeaux grape varieties. And so, as would follow, they are made into Bordeaux-style blends. And they're supposed to be similar in taste and quality to Bordeaux-style blends. At least that's the goal. But the difference is that they're not made in Bordeaux. And they're not made from grapes that are actually Bordeaux grapes themselves, but from regions they're from New World. They're the New World. Now, we did do an episode on Bordeaux bargain wines a bit ago, and we got to do another one. Mm-hmm. And we went into some depth into what Bordeaux blends are, but the quick version, the quick primer, is that most of the time, Bordeaux red wines are made from what are called the 5 noble grapes.
Wow.
The noble grapes.
They're Grand.
Yes, they're Grand. They are Grand. And they are Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Cabernet Franc, Malbec, and Petit Verdot. And like wine blends in Bordeaux, knowing the exact blend can actually be a little tricky because it can be any combination of those. Exactly. So in the same way, Meritage, the only rules for Meritage on blending are that the wines need to be made of at least 2 of the 5 noble grapes.
Wow.
And by the way, Minisode 12 is about the noble grapes, in case you were wondering. A lot of references.
Yeah, wow.
A lot of shout-outs, a lot of references, a lot of stuff.
Spinning
yeah, I'm
now.
spinning.
I'm like,
okay.
Wow. I mean, I feel like my eyes are dilated.
Now, your ears should be dilated. Okay. According to the Meritage, I keep saying that, the Meritage Alliance, which is a website
this is rare
you can find
that he's mispronouncing something.
I know, endlessly mispronouncing it. Now you can find a link to the Meritage Alliance in our show notes. Did you know we have show notes?
We have show notes.
We do. Okay, so according to the Meritage, oh my God, I did it again. The Meritage Alliance.
Can I get I'm not going to even say a quarter for every time.
It's on tape.
I know. I want a few $100s for every time.
Meritage, this is what they say. Can I just say what they said?
Say it, please. Spit it out.
Okay, Meritage first appeared in the late 1980s after a group of American vintners joined forces to create a name for New World wines blended in the tradition of Bordeaux. So the idea is that if you want something approaching a Bordeaux quality and in alignment with the Bordeaux style of wine, you should look for a Meritage. And by the way, the name Claret or Claret, C-L-A-R-E-T, if you ever see that, basically it means the same thing as a Meritage.
Oh, good to know.
So there you go. A little bit of wine knowledge dropping. See,
right.
That's why. Hey, you with the Trader Joe's bag.
Oh,
that's why you just got to tell him.
We didn't really see it. He was.
No, that's acting. That's acting.
He wanted to give you an example.
That is
play.
Hey, it's role playing.
Role playing. Yeah, a little role playing. And
maybe we'll do some role playing later.
I will. What does that mean? I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm sad that you don't know. Okay. If you see a wine,
I don't have a Trader Joe's bag.
Moving on.
But if I had one, you could yell at me.
Hey, lady.
Yes?
You want to meet the Wine Pair podcast?
Ooh! Okay. I subscribe already.
Oh, God. Okay. Okay. Another one of our wines is a GSM. And that's a blend that we've talked about before as well. And a little more than a year ago, we did an episode called GSM Wines Demystified. A lot of references today. Mm-hmm. And the quick and dirty story here, it's not so dirty actually, just quick, is that the classic home of the GSM blend is in the Côte du Rhône region of France.
Wow.
And in the Côte d'Aron region, they can actually use up to 19 different varieties of grapes in their blends, but the classic combination is Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre. Hence the abbreviation GSM. There you go. And if you see a wine labeled GSM, you know that it is predominantly made of those 3 varietals, but you may not see the actual abbreviation on wines that you find from Côte d'Aron. So you just got to know that when you get a Côte d'Aron wine, it's going to be a GSM blend most of the time.
Okay.
Now, again, both of these are classic red wine blends, and I would say that neither of these, again, are our favorite red wine blends, but they are blends that you need to know. They're very popular worldwide, and they're things to learn about to just know a little bit more about wine, and that's what we're about.
For sure.
So let's talk about the wines that we chose for this episode, Carmela.
Let's do it.
Okay, so as usual, all the wines we have chosen for this episode are under $20, and all of them should be easy to find because I bought them all at Trader Joe's.
Perfect. And there's like a Trader Joe's on every corner.
Not every corner, but there's a lot.
Okay.
And because they're all Grand Reserve wines, at the local Trader Joe's I went to here in Seattle, they were all $12.99, as I said before.
Perfect.
I will also say that finding a Meritage or Bordeaux style blend, or a GSM or a Rhone style blend, or an oaky Chardonnay, those things are not difficult. So finding good ones at $12.99 might be difficult. And so we're going to find out if these are worth your time or not.
Okay.
So the first wine that we're going to be tasting and reviewing today, I'm at timeout. You know what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to actually take a pause. I'm going to take the wine out of the fridge because here's a little hint. Chardonnay, there's a 20-20 rule that some people go by with wine. And with Chardonnay or white wines, especially oaky white wines, the rule of thumb is you take them out of the fridge about 20 minutes ahead of serving them.
Okay.
And red wines you can actually put in the fridge if you don't have a wine cellar for like 20 minutes before you serve them sometimes. So I'm actually going to take a pause and take that Chardonnay out of the fridge.
You do that.
Okay, I'm back. I took it out of the fridge. And again, the reason we want to take it out of the fridge, especially an oaky white wine, is that when they're really cold, actually, it can be overly oaky. Like the oak can overpower all the other flavors. When it warms up a little, you get more of that fruit out of it. But anyway, so this is the 2022 Trader Joe's Grand Reserve Russian River Chardonnay, and the wine comes from Sonoma County, California. And in case you were wondering, Trader Joe's does put lot numbers on their wines, and this is lot number 128.
Okay.
Because you'll see it online. Sometimes they'll say a different lot number. So I just want people to be clear. This is lot number 128.
In case you're curious, in case you keep track of the lots.
That's right. A lot of lots. A lot of lots. So the Russian River area is known for making Burgundy-style wines, meaning Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. And the website Vino Pointer, that's actually a website, they noticed in their tasting that this is not an overly buttery or oaky Chardonnay. So I'm excited to try it. And again, we tend to really like unoaked Chardonnays, which in France are like Chablis are often an unoaked Chardonnay. So we'll see how this stacks up. And I think we're starting to see that more in others. Winemakers are starting to say unoaked Chardonnay. And again, pull the wine out of the fridge about 20 minutes before you're going to serve it. Now, it can be hard to find out a lot about some of these wines, but the website called Cheap Wine Finder, which is a real website as well, did a really nice job of sleuthing. And they said the back label says this wine was vinted and bottled by Errol Wines of Oakville, Napa. And they are evidently a small boutique high-end winery with winemakers from Turley and Silver Oak.
Cool.
So if Turley... I got the clip there again. If Turley is involved, we might really like it because we love Turley Zinfandels.
Yes,
we love them. We love them. Okay, the next wine we're going to try is the 2022 Trader Joe's Grand Reserve GSM, which is from Santa Barbara County in California, and this is lot number 132. And I like that Trader Joe's shows the blend, and so it's 42% Grenache, 39% Syrah, and 19% Mourvedre. However, I really had a hard time finding out anything else about this wine. I mean, anything else other than a couple of tasting notes from a few websites, and the fact that it's produced by 1542 Ace Wine, which looks to be a winemaker that has made some well-reviewed wines on Wine Enthusiast, but I couldn't find their website, so I just gave up. I gave up and I moved on.
That's okay.
So the last wine we're tasting and reviewing is the 2021 Trader Joe's Grand Reserve Meritage,
Good job. Just wanted to make sure you said it right.
Oh, I was like, why is she
One
stopping
made
me?
a little money, but I guess I don't get to anymore.
Yes, the Meritage, which comes from Paso Robles, California. And this one is labeled with lot number 129. And the blend is really interesting. So it is 77% Cabernet Sauvignon, so mostly Cabernet Sauvignon. And then 7% Merlot, 7% Cabernet Franc, 7% Malbec, and 2% Petit Verdot.
Oh.
I'm not going to make you do the math, but...
It works out.
So it's I hope it does. So it's a very Bordeaux-style blend, but kind of interesting mix. Cabernet heavy.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, again, not a lot else I can tell you about the wine other than the label says it was produced and bottled by Bozano and Company, which are described as a wine business that specializes in sourcing and sales of bulk wine and wine grapes, as well as wine product development for national and regional retailers. So this is kind of their thing, but I don't like bulk wine. That kind of freaks me out a little bit. This is a Grand Reserve. It's supposed to be good, but I'm not going to be over-biased.
Well, we haven't tried it yet.
Open-minded.
Right.
Be open-minded.
Always.
So I think that's enough information, Carmela. We're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to try these wines. And if you have any Trader Joe's wines, whether it's a Grand Reserve or something similar, taste along with us. Again, participation points. And if you open up more than one bottle, you get participation points for each.
For every bottle?
Yeah.
But we don't, okay.
But they want the points. Because, they can use them.
He's keeping track.
I got a spreadsheet.
I've seen it.
Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, we are back and we are ready to try our first wine. It's the Trader Joe's Grand Reserve Russian River Chardonnay. It's from Sonoma County, California. It's a 2022. It was $12.99 at Trader Joe's. 14.10% alcohol.
Wow.
So that's a lot.
Chardonnay,
That's same as 14.1, by the way. Yeah, 100% Chardonnay and no professional ratings that I could find. And I just have to admit, maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but I did a heavy pour for myself.
Wow, I know. I just kept seeing him like tilt it over.
Okay,
what
do you smell it? Yeah, it's kind of dark. It's kind of like you didn't drink enough water.
Right. Ooh, that's scary.
But I'm telling you, I like the smell.
Yeah, it's nice. It's rich. For me, it's rich. I'm almost getting like butterscotch on it.
I'm getting I agree, a little butterscotch, but I'm getting a nice apple, like orchard fruit apple on that.
Are you getting like a cooked apple, like a pie? I'm getting more.
A little bit.
A little more of that.
Like an apple turnover-y kind of smell.
Oh, a turnover, in fact. Apple hand pie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I'm getting like a little bit of cream, vanilla.
Cream.
Those, to me, it's pretty rich. Smelling, like very nice, but rich.
A little bit. I get that butterscotch. Maybe a little bit of like kettle corn.
Oh, I like that. A little saltiness then too, you think?
Yeah, it's got a little bit of salinity. It's got a little bit of spiciness. I gotta tell you, it's a pleasant smell. We'll see how it tastes. Should we taste it?
Let's do it.
Wow. Wow. It is rich tasting.
It's rich, yeah.
It's butterscotchy. Mm-hmm. It is really candy butterscotchy. It's not super oaky. I don't think it's super duper oaky.
Not very acidic though. Like I'm not getting.
It's not.
No, it's definitely probably not something that we would gravitate towards. It's pleasant, but it is like it's almost to me like a butterscotch sundae.
Yeah.
Like if you had some sort of
creamy.
Yeah, like some sort of vanilla ice cream with like hot butterscotch on top.
Yeah, and it definitely has that kind of mouth feel. You remember those like butterscotch or butter rum? We've talked about this before, like those little lifesavers kind of got that flavor to it.
Super good. I love those.
It doesn't have as much like orchard fruit or apple on it. It's got some spice. I can taste maybe a little cinnamon or something, but I'm getting just butter.
Yeah, just really buttery.
It's buttery. Yeah. So I know they said like it's not particularly buttery or oaky, but to me, and we don't drink a lot of these wines, but to me it tastes like the mouthfeel is buttery.
I'm just wondering if like a really really versed Chardonnay drinker
what they
would
think?
Find this like not buttery. Like are we finding it that way because we just don't drink this type of wine that often? But it's coming through for me a lot. Not the oak. I'm not really getting a ton of oak, and they said that you wouldn't.
No.
But just that kind of, what do you say, viscous kind of?
It's viscous, yeah.
Syrupy, creamy.
I like it. I hate to say it. I kind of like it.
I don't mind it at all. No, I like it.
Yeah.
Not even that okay, the question is, would you eat with this? And
yes, I actually think this is a rich, you could drink it on its own. It's got enough that it can stand on its own. So if you want to cocktail it, go for it.
Right.
But I think this would be good with food. But I don't like if it's seafood, like buttery, like things in butter, like a lobster in a butter sauce.
I was just going to say, you're right, like a lobster tail in butter sauce, or like scallopy, like scallop dish.
Or shrimp in butter or something of that nature. Something like a linguine that's very like almost cream sauces would probably do really well with it.
I agree.
Don't you think like even a pesto would be really good? Like creamy sauces.
Creamy, garlicky would work too. But yeah, all of those things. But I liked the idea of like a creamy scallop, or what did you say before that?
Like a lobster tail.
A lobster tail. Like that really, I think this would fit really nicely with that.
I think too, like creamy chicken dishes, or if you like have some. So I'm really feeling like French style creamy, saucy kind of dishes would do really nicely.
Yeah.
I actually, despite my expectations, I'm kind of enjoying this wine.
I am too.
Yeah.
What are you going to give it?
Yeah, well, it's not, again, so let's talk about a rating scale. As a reminder, on a rating scale, we rate on a scale of 1 to 10, where 7 and above means that we'd buy it, and a 4 below means that we're going to pour it down the sink, and a 5 or a 6 means we'll drink it, and we'll probably finish it, but we're probably not going to buy it. I'm giving this one a 7. I think, I think we'll find out next week what maybe more oaky Chardonnays are. But to me, this is a nicely balanced wine. It's richer, so it's not a summer sipper by the pool. It's a little bit more intense than that. It's maybe a fall type wine in some ways too.
Right.
But it's nice. It's rich. It goes well with food, and I think it's pleasant. It doesn't kill me with oak, so I like it.
I'm doing the same. I'm giving it a 7. I'm enjoying it, and I wouldn't probably choose it, like at a restaurant really, but I would buy it like if we had Chardonnay people coming over.
See, I don't know if I would. I would definitely agree with that last part, but I think at a restaurant, if we went to a nice restaurant and we were going to have something like seafoody or creamy or something, I would think about getting a wine like this. Because I think it would stand up, and I think it would be a different kind of experience. But I'm enjoying it.
No, it's a good wine.
I think it's a good wine too. All right, so 1 for 1, that's pretty good. So we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna try our next wine.
Okay.
Okay, we are back, and we are ready to try our next Trader Joe's wine. This is the Trader Joe's Grand Reserve GSM. It's from Santa Barbara County, California. It's a 2022 as well, so it's probably a little young. $12.99 at Trader Joe's, 14.9% alcohol.
Wow.
So these are kind of kicking our butts.
To get me kind of
I am.
drunk
So then we can do a little role playing. Okay, 42% Grenache, 39% Syrah, and 19% Mourvedre. And Sipped Reviews, I don't know who they are, give it a 90. I don't know who they are, but somebody gave it a 90.
Okay, Sipped Reviews, huh?
So what are you smelling?
Well, what are you getting? You look like you have something really
spice right off the bat, like it smells peppery to me.
I was gonna say pepper, more than like a baking spice, right? Okay.
But like berries, like berry jam. It smells to me like a blackberry jam. That's what I'm getting.
A dark blackberry. Yeah. Okay. I'm also getting a little bit of smoke though, too.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think a little bit.
Yeah, to me it's like jams. It's like fruit with jam, maybe a little like cinnamon too. I know we didn't say baking spices, but I am getting a little cinnamon on it. Do you smell a little plum too? Maybe a tiny Scotia plum?
Like a dark plum. It would be a dark plum, like an Italian plum, I'd say. A little bit, or something stewed, or like even like a currant, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, rich. It's got this is another one with a rich smell.
These are rich wines, I bet. I bet all 3 of them will be.
I think you're right. Okay, we're going to try it.
Ooh, it is jammy.
Ooh, it's super jammy.
Yeah, it's really, it's kind of sweet almost.
Yeah, it tastes to me like church wine a little bit.
Ooh.
It's really like jammy and fruity. It tastes like we have these wine bags.
Bomb.
We have these like wine bags. They're like for carrying wine, okay? Right. And they say wine, I know, and they say wine is just fruit salad. This tastes like a fruit salad.
No, you're absolutely right.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
Like you put a bunch of fruits in a pot and you mix.
But it is this is going to sound silly, but kind of a grapey taste.
It is a little grapey tasting.
Kind of like you said.
Sangria.
Oh, kind of. But is this what you'd use?
No, you usually use a Rioja, but
right.
But you can use Grenache in a sangria as well. Super fruity. I'm getting a little like pepper or something on the end, and I am getting like incense or something.
A little potpourri, kind of.
No, more incense, more of an incense like that
churchy.
wood.
You're kind of going down the church.
I am going down the church
road.
But remember, we were in the Pike Place Market, visiting our son, working at Pasta Casalinga, which, by the way, if you're in Seattle, it's a fantastic place.
Awesome, right in the market.
And Monday and Tuesdays during the summer, our son is working there.
Right,
so
he's the face of Pasta Casalinga that day.
Don't bug him. Be nice to him. But there is a shop right by there that sells a lot of incense, and this smells and tastes like that shop.
It does.
And I licked that shop. I mean, I liked that shop.
No, which makes me like, it's okay. I'm not loving it, though.
No.
Like, incense...
It's got a little bit of a berry pie taste to it, too. It's like
really
but
it's pretty
fruity.
baking spice heavy with the berries.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of hurting my stomach a little bit.
Yeah. Great.
What would you eat with this?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I think you want to have something kind of greasy.
Yeah, I agree. Greasy.
I don't know. That sounds weird.
Greasy and meaty, like a nice...
cheeseburger,
yeah,
maybe.
or like a...
I don't think it's a very...
Beef and bean burrito.
It's not a real formally wine either.
Formally.
You know...
Despite the fact that it's Grand, it's not formally. It's not formally a wine.
Don't call yourself Grand, please.
Yeah.
When you're not very formally.
It's not currently a wine, it's formally a wine. No, it's not formally a wine. Okay.
I don't know.
What would you...
I'm
else
not loving this wine. Yeah, so I wouldn't... But I would want something, salty or...
You know what?
Something greasy.
Yeah, to me, this tastes like one of those wines where people are like, do you want a red wine? What'd you get? I don't know. I got a red wine blend. And then you end up with something like that. It's starting to hurt my guts.
Oh, I'm worried. Guys, we don't... Okay,
it's so acidic. It's very
off.
It's like acidic, but like acidic in a way that makes me feel like a hole is burning through my stomach.
Yeah, it's a little bit, actually.
To my gulo.
It is a little bit hot.
A little hot.
Gross.
What is young? But it's 14.9%
That's what I mean.
alcohol.
It is a little bit burning
I think
sensation.
my eyes are getting a little less dilated.
Yeah, they're just shrinking now.
I don't know. I think that wine kind of popped them out.
Can you read this yet?
I don't know. Anyway, what rating are you going to give this wine?
I'm kind of feeling like I'm going. I mean,
Ooh.
maybe a 5.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not quite a 4, but I do actually think we're going to pour it down the sink.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
You know what? I'm giving it a 4. I'm giving it a 4.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Here's the deal. I wouldn't buy it. The only thing that makes me even think it would be a 5 is that if there was nothing else to drink and somebody gave it to me.
And I needed a good glass of wine.
Yeah, I'd be okay. But
not
you
a
know
good
what?
glass, but just like I needed to get drunk.
Yeah, but you know what? I'd rather have a beer. I'd rather have beer than this wine.
For sure.
So I'm giving it a 4.
Okay.
Okay. I wouldn't buy it. And it's going to be, I hate that we're wasteful like this, but it's going to be poured down the sink.
Right.
We're not going to drink it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sort of in that camp too. I guess
so are you going to keep a 5?
I mean, right now, nobody could convince me to drink this whole glass.
Right.
So
well, that's the thing.
That's where I'm at right now. So maybe that means I should change it to a 4.
Yeah. I mean,
feeling
the
kind of
fact
bad
that
about it.
I know, but the fact that it's burning a hole in my stomach, just like it's a 4.
Not good.
No, it's not good.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a break. We're going to try our next wine.
Okay.
All right, we're back and we are ready to try our last wine. It's the Trader Joe's Grand Reserve Meritage, not Meritage, Meritage. It's from Paso Robles, California. 2021, $12.99 at Trader Joe's. This one is a mere 14.3% alcohol. So actually I was surprised. GSM was the highest, and this is only the second highest. And again, 77% Cabernet Sauvignon, 7% Merlot, 7% Cabernet Franc, 7% Malbec, and 2% Petit Verdot. And Sipped Reviews, again, gave this one a 92. Now, the fact that they gave the last one a 90 makes me feel like they don't know shit, but we're going to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sipped Reviews.
Sipped Reviews is full of sip. Okay. What are you smelling?
Okay. I feel like this one's kind of hot too. Like you can, I don't really love them when you can just fully
smell the alcohol.
Yeah. I don't love that. So I kind of am getting that, but.
Ooh, I'm getting like a good whiff of like alcohol, like a perfume, like a potpourri perfume. You talked about that before.
Yeah,
but this to me is the bathroom spray.
Ooh, yeah. It's a little rosy, though.
Rose.
I think there's a little rose in there. Kind of like perfume rose, though. Not like a fresh rose, maybe.
I'm getting a little black cherry. Maybe a little plum.
I feel like it kind of smells a little bit like IHOP syrups.
Oh, jammy. So you're getting something jammy, syrupy, sweet,
though, like
fruity.
an artificial fruity smell.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting a similar, like kind of oak wood smell, incensey kind of wood smell.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Maybe even a little gun smoke.
Oh,
You know, that kind of smell.
There's just a hint of like
Something
a little
spicy.
bit spicy or bitter. I don't know if it's like a cacao.
Actually, you know what I was going to say? I think there's a little chocolate on it.
Okay.
I think there's a little chocolate or mocha on it. Cacao. If you haven't watched Portlandia, watch Portlandia. You'll get the cacao joke.
Yeah, we say it a lot, I think, but it's a good one.
She says it to me a lot. If you watch Portlandia, you know what I mean.
And you'll know why.
God. Okay, let's try it. Let's taste it.
Different than the other one.
Yeah, it's at the end, it's quite astringent. It's got tea bag acidity.
It does.
Tea bag tannins on the end, like Earl Grey tea at the very end.
Yes, for sure.
But it's dry. It cleans off the tongue. It's nice. I think it's nice.
I like it better. I know it's different. It's a little bit interesting because it's not like very full bodied though. It's kind of thin.
I think it's young. I honestly feel like it could sit in the bottle for a while. I think it is young.
It's a little watered down.
Yeah,
tasting.
I think that's because it hasn't matured yet. I think it's got good fruit up front.
Ahead of it.
I think it does. I think it's got good
years
fruit.
Is again? I'm sorry.
It's 2021.
Okay.
It's got good fruit on the front. On the back end, I'm getting that smoke, a lot of like gun smoke kind of taste on the end. So to me, it's overpowered on the back end. Like it's almost the front end hasn't come to life yet, and so the back end is overpowering it.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
yeah, but I do think it's a pretty good wine. It's just young.
Yeah.
If you buy it, I would just let it sit for 4 years and just. I know that's sometimes difficult to do, but I think this one needs some time.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree. For sure.
What food would you have with this?
I'm thinking like you don't need anything as like rich and heavy actually with this. I'm almost thinking you could do like pork tenderloin or something.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't need that greasy.
Although it would do really nice with a rare, like a medium rare steak. I think it would be really nice, some nice fillet or something. I think it would be very good with that.
Yeah, or even like the ribs that we get. I know those are beef.
Oh,
those are
Kalbi,
good.
the Kalbi beef, the Korean ribs.
I think these would be really nice with
so
those.
Grilled foods, kind of like charred meats would be really good.
Yeah, what else do you think?
Yeah, carne asada I think would be really good. I think like those Mexican kind of foods would be really good.
Yeah.
But I could see like, a lot of things like Mediterranean foods, pastas, pizza. Like I think it would be, it's pretty versatile. I think it's pretty versatile.
Too.
I think
you could do it like a puttanesca with this would be really good.
And I think this is a good example of a wine that probably would do much better with food. Like I think if you're actually going to drink it, I think if you had it with food, you'd really enjoy it. Like if you popped it open and you had some meats and cheeses, a nice charcuterie board, I think you'd really enjoy the wine more.
I think you're right.
So
it's a good partnership with food.
For sure. So I think it's a pretty good wine, actually. I mean, I'm not like over the moon, but it's pretty good wine.
Yeah. What are you going to rate it?
Well, I think I'm going to give it, I'm on the verge. I'm in between a 6 and a 7. I would say I'm going to give it a 7, but I would say of the wines that we rated higher, I prefer the Chardonnay. I'm really tempted to give that Chardonnay an 8. Yeah. Because it's a really good wine.
And for us, like Chardonnay getting an 8 rating it's
a big deal.
Yeah. And that would be something like we would buy it. We'd give it as a gift. We'd enjoy it on our own.
The only reason I'm not going down that path is because for me, I'm not sure that it would be a wine that I would buy all the time. But I think for a Chardonnay lover or more of a heavy wine lover, they would like this. This wine is a good wine. I think it needs food and I think it needs time. What rating are you going to give it?
Well, I'm kind of in the same camp, although, I'm on the verge of a 6 only because I will absolutely drink this. No problem and enjoy it.
This isn't really your type of wine.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
But would I buy it for somebody else? I keep trying to use that. I think so. So that's where I'm kind of in the 6, 7. I know you can't do halvesies.
Yeah. So which one? Which
I'm
one?
going to say a 7.
Okay, nice.
Because I would buy it.
This is the kind of wine I actually think your dad would be okay with. Like he would enjoy this wine.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
So which of the two are you which of the three are you finishing tonight?
Hands down the Chard.
Chardonnay. We're both on the Chardonnay.
Yeah.
And this one is the Meritage is the second. Okay, let's talk about the taste profiles, and then we got to talk about Spain. But let's talk about the taste profiles that we would expect from these wines. So first, Chardonnay. In general, lemon, yellow apple, butter, vanilla, pineapple. Wine label says of this wine, notes of lemon and brioche open up to rich yet vibrant palate with hints of vanilla and spice on the finish. Vino Pointer said, nice middleweight Chardonnay. I agree with that. More green apple and pear versus drawn butter, but there is some butter. Agree with that. More citrus notes. We didn't get a lot of citrus.
No, they're talking lemon, and I don't think I got
I don't got it. I didn't get a ton either.
Maybe for like a Chardonnay person, this seemed more acidic.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe notes of lemon and brioche with hints of vanilla and spice. We were getting some of that like pie, weren't we? Didn't we say pie?
Well, we were, a little bit, but we were also getting like the vanilla. We were talking more like creamy.
Yeah, creamy.
We were going down that road a little bit more, but you had cinnamon on as
I did.
thought.
Spice. So they said spice.
Yeah.
Cheap Wine Finder says the nose is lemon, apple, dried pineapple, honey, vanilla, and a light floral edge. Subtle yet tasty Chardonnay. Darker style than the usual value price Chardonnay. I agree with that. The GSM in general, you want raspberry, blackberry, rosemary, baking spices, lavender. You may get cured meat, pepper, red cherry, herbs, and black plum. So we were getting a number of those. Sipped Review says the nose has strawberry, raspberry, cocoa, leather, licorice, baking spices, spicy, peppery earth.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Vino Pointer, nice clear red plum color in the glass, aromas of licorice, red raspberry, and blackberry, definitely getting blackberry. In the mouth, more of the same with some added notes of vanilla and strawberry, long, smooth finish. And then Meritage. The general tastes are black currants, black cherry and plums, black fruit flavors, ripened blackberries, and ripe plums. Okay. Wine label said notes of black currant, raspberry, and toasted oak layered with hints of spice, dark chocolate. And then fine-grained tannins. We got a lot of tannin. I don't know if I call them fine-grained, but sipped reviews. The nose is medium plus, pronounced with cinnamon, licorice, baking spice, cocoa, blackberry, black cherry, cassis, and kirsch. So you said black currant, I think, too.
Yeah, but I cook in the cocoa.
Soft oak texture, silky tannins, medium acid, kirsch. That's interesting. Well, we were getting like very like kind of alcohol-y.
Yes.
And that's like a cherry alcohol. Vino Pointer said cinnamon, licorice, baking spice, dark chocolate, blackberry, and black cherry. Good body, polished tannins, medium acid. Cab Sauv adds classic cassis and licorice to the finish. Okay. Well, so I think we did okay.
Yeah, there's some good options.
For sure. And, these wines, I would say overall kind of rich wines.
I
overall.
would say so, too, for sure.
But overall, I think, Grand Reserve at Trader Joe's probably going to be like for bang for your buck, pretty good. I think we found a couple of pretty good wines. And again, we're not, remember, none of these wines are in our wheelhouse in terms of wines we usually buy. So the fact that we gave 2 of them a 7 is actually quite good.
I agree.
So I think that would mean if you like these kinds of wines, you might rate them much higher.
Right.
Okay, but Carmela, now we got to talk about our trip to Spain because Christine reached out and she asked if we had reviewed our trip. And I had to tell her, we're not really. And then another note from Jennifer, who's going to Barcelona in October. And she was looking for some thoughts on Priorat and Sant Sadurní d'Anoia and asked if we had reviewed the trip and wanted some ideas about Priorat. And I had to tell her, well, we didn't go to Priorat, but I do have some things to tell her. So let's do a quick review of our Spain trip. Okay. So first,
I thought we talked a little bit about it.
We did, but let's talk a little bit about Barcelona.
Okay.
So the first we loved it. We had a great time.
Great spot.
Yeah, great spot. So
beautiful.
If you know anything about, if you know anything about Barcelona, we were like in between the 2 great streets. On one side was Las Ramblas and the other was Passeig de Gràcia. We were right in between, like we were in the perfect spot at kind of the top of the street,
a great
where they kind of start.
Boutique hotel.
Yeah, it was awesome. Great time, great people. We didn't get squirted with squirt guns, by the way. I don't know if you've heard this. Look it up, people. It's happening in there. We took a cooking class while we were there, which was great.
We did. It was super fun.
It was fun. We went to the big market that was there.
Did a little shopping.
Yeah, the only thing and this was something I mentioned to Jennifer, is that we didn't get served Priorat, which is a
No.
Catalonian wine. We barely ever saw Priorat, which I was really surprised by. They served us Rioja
Right.
at the cooking class, which I thought was crazy.
Right.
And it was supposed to be a Catalan cooking class.
That was interesting.
Yeah. But the one thing that we really, really, really loved was Gaudi.
Oh my God. Well,
I've
Joe
gone
has
Gaudi
gone
crazy.
Gaudi nuts. Yeah.
There's a kind of broken tile art that Gaudi used called Trincatus, and I've actually started
tiling
doing
our
it.
whole
I've
house
started
like
doing
this.
it
Outside.
It's weird.
he's-
I've gone
yeah,
crazy.
no,
If you want to
he's-
see pictures, let me know.
You might have to post at
I
some
might.
point.
I
Yeah.
might.
He's gone Gaudi nuts.
Gaudi crazy. But I will say, like, La Sagrada Familia, one of the
Right.
most amazing things I've ever seen.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
And
you've got to go
Parkway.
inside. I've heard of so many people going to Sagrada Familia and
not
only
going
seeing
inside?
the outside. Like, oh, we didn't go inside because I do think you have to reserve a time and you have to pay. So if you want to figure that into your budget,
Inside is like
glorious,
unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a stark contrast from the outside.
It really is.
very
It's
different.
like two different places
Yeah,
almost.
so
And then Park Goet was fantastic. So that's the park that Gaudi designed. And then, a couple of the great buildings like Casa Mila and Casa Baltlo are just unbelievable. But it was great. I would just say the only thing that I didn't love about Barcelona, too much goddamn ham.
we weren't super thrilled about the food.
The food wasn't awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't think the food was awesome.
Maybe we didn't give some things a chance, but yeah, tons of ham on
Too
ham
much
on
ham.
ham. Yeah.
Hamon. Too much hamon.
We're not big ham folks.
Well, I actually no, I love ham. But by the time it was over, I was like, I don't care if I ever eat ham
But
again.
even now how the ham was prepared wasn't anything extra
No,
special.
it's like prosciutto.
Right, but
No
it
big
was like
deal.
I got that one dish and it was like piled high with ham.
It was ham.
Like 4 inches high, and I was like, wait, this
What are we
is
gonna do?
so much ham.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But let's talk about the wine.
okay.
Basically, the vast majority of what we drank was cava. We drank a shit ton of cava.
Which was so fun.
and that's a
so good.
technical term. Shit ton.
Yes, it is.
Again, Priorat, we couldn't find, but cava all over the place, and it was cheap. Like alcohol was cheap.
Real, yeah.
We went to a dinner, and a bottle of alcohol, a bottle of cava, was $18, 18 euro.
And we had just left New York where we were paying
$20 for a glass.
Yeah.
So it was just awesome. And then we did take our day trip to San Sadurni de Anoia to go to, that's where they have, there's like tons of cava wineries there. Freixenet is there. A bunch of famous ones are there. And we went to one called Recaredo, which we highly recommend.
Right. They were awesome.
Awesome. You have to pay for the tour, but it's worth it. It's 2 hours. You get a tasting. You get to see stuff. They don't let you take pictures most of the time because they're showing you stuff they really, they never show anybody going to their caves. It's like fantastic.
It's beautiful.
It was great.
Yeah.
The town itself,
Kind of strange.
kind of weird. Now, again, we did go on a Sunday, so maybe it was just shut
Very
down.
quiet.
But we were expecting kind of one of these quaint little beautiful like
Hill
Italian
towns, like hilltop
Italian
towns.
towns. Yeah, where you go and it's like, oh, this is so cute. I could spend the day here. And it was weird.
It was weird. There wasn't even really like a center of town either. It wasn't like a piazza like in Italy where you have like the center of town where everybody gathers. There wasn't like a person in sight.
No, there wasn't. And then the other thing is the trains. So we had a real adventure. So Carmela and I had gone the day before. We were like, we got to scope this out because I'm an over planner. So we went to the train station to figure out how we get to San Sadurni de Anoia. We went and talked to this person. We bought our tickets. There were some issues going on because like people were stealing copper off the train tracks. So we had it all figured out. And then we made a mistake. So on Sunday,
then we overplanned.
We overplanned, but on Sunday we left. We left plenty of time. Like we left 2 hours early. Should only take an hour to get to San Sadurni. So 2 hours early, we get there. We take one. You're supposed to go on the train and take a stop and switch trains. But I made the mistake of trying to talk to a train person when we were there. So talked to the train person, and he was like, "No, you don't take this train. You have to go back to this other train."
He's talking to us in Spanish.
You have to go back to this other train. I'm like, "No, we're trying to go to San Sadurni," and he's like, "Yeah, you have to go back to this Barcelona Sans." So okay, so we're like, so fine, we go back to Barcelona Sans, and we talk to the guy there, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, you want to go on track 13?" So we go to track 13. I'm looking at him like, that does not say San Sadurni de Anoia. So I go back to the guy, and he goes, "Oh, San Sadurni de Anoia, I thought you meant San Saloni. You got to go back to the station you were at." So basically what I learned is two things. if you don't know Spanish, you're in trouble. Well, maybe 3 things. The second thing is, if you talk to one person the day before who works,
you don't want to discourage.
No. But don't try and make it work.
The people at the train station don't speak a lot of English.
Well, the first lady we talked to spoke perfect English, and she told us what to do, and we should have just listened to her.
Right.
And the third thing is, pronounce your words correctly, because
or maybe just show them.
Actually, even the guy at the hotel, when I first said we wanted to go to San Sadurni, I said San Sadurni. He was like, well, and I was looking at the map, and I was like, that's San Saloni. He's like, oh, you said something different, so I was just saying it wrong. So that was part of the problem. So overall, the wine tour, Recorrido, go. It was awesome. Yes. Perfect. Like, we loved it. The city itself, meh. Barcelona, awesome. Love the trip. Makes us want to go all over Spain.
Yeah.
So we're going back. Do it. So we're excited to go back to Spain again someday. Not this year, but we'll go sometime, and we'll go to other places like Valencia.
Oh, right.
And Galicia. Yeah, exactly. Okay, Carmela, it's time for us to go. But before we do, we want to thank you very much for sticking around this long to listen to us. And if you haven't done so yet, now would be a great time to subscribe to the podcast, and a great time to leave us a nice rating and review on our website or Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever it is. Great way for us to get more listeners, and we'd love to hear from you. See, lots of shout outs today because lots of people are reaching out to us, so we want to hear from you and things you want us to talk about, etc. So you can leave a message for us on our website at thewinepairpodcast.com. You can join our email newsletter there, and I will send it to you if you missed our latest newsletter. So email me. You can do that at joe@thewinepairpodcast.com, and you can just send me and Carmela a note and just shoot the breeze. We answer back. Promise. We do. Promise. But with that, we're going to sign off, and we're going to say thank you again, and we'll see you next time. And like we like to say, life is short, so stop drinking shitty wine. Bye.
Bye.
And the happy ending at the end of our story. Always think too much, always drink too much, always pray too much, always play too much. And when I'm with you too much, I fall in love too much. And when I'm away too much, I hunger for your touch.